Hi, my name is Alex, and I'll be doing a quick introductory for Patagonia and our findings on their brand audit. So just a quick introductory to our team. I'm Alex, and I did a lot of the graphic design for a presentation here, but also I'll be covering recommendations at the end. Casey went through brand inventory, which proved to be one of our bigger sections, but she did a great job there. Sam is going to go over brand history and the overview, but also some of the brand exploratory options for them, what they're doing and what they could be doing. And then Michael went through brand challenges, which was really interesting to me. So just a quick overview of the order that we're doing this so you can follow really easily. We're going to cover history so we get a basic understanding of who Patagonia is and why they do what they do. Challenges they face, some of the inventory, what they're involved in, their exploratory options, and then wrapping up with recommendation. And with that, we'll start with history.
Patagonia's outdoor apparel brand started in 1973 by Yvon Chouinard. He was a young rock climber who began making and selling his own equipment to other climbers. It was such a success that he began making and selling clothing to other climbers as well. He named his clothing line Patagonia, and it has become an industry leader in outdoor apparel and gear. The company values social responsibility and supporting environmental causes in everything that it does. Its strengths are its superior quality and design. Its weaknesses are its unconventional marketing strategy. Its opportunities are that most of society are becoming more environmentally conscious and aware and supporting organizations that have the same values. Its threats are other competitors in the outdoor apparel industry.
Hi everybody, I'm Mike Sanders, and now we're going to look at Patagonia's marketing challenges. Like most businesses, Patagonia has some pretty stiff competition. Merrell, Cool, the North Face, Arc'teryx, Outdoor Research, and many others would love to have Patagonia share of the market. To maintain its niche in the market, Patagonia must rise up to meet several challenges. But the first challenge that we're going to look at is the green challenge. Now, since the 1990s, there's been a lot of companies that have been green, that they're marketing to being environmentally friendly. But Patagonia has been doing this since the 1950s. Their initial climbing gear was all considered clean. Their polyester is made from recycled plants. They have humane farms. They do all these extra steps to make sure that they are environmentally friendly. But environmentalism can be very expensive. And what some companies do is they claim to be green, even though some of their business practices are not nearly as green as Patagonia's. And this does create a little bit of an issue for Patagonia because they need to be able to constantly stand out amongst the growing field of green businesses. Another challenge that Patagonia faces is having fashionable clothing that doesn't look like it is made for fashion. And what I mean by this is when Patagonia first started, they were making gear and clothing that was designed for mountain climbing. And then they started reaching out to other outdoor, extreme adventures and kayaking and mountain climbing and all these other things. But their clothing was always made with the intent of being functional over fashionable. But the problem with that is there's a really small market for adventurers. So what Patagonia did was in the 1980s they started to experiment with different colors. They originally all their stuff was in like a green or brown, and then they started going with intentionally super bright colors, making sure that it didn't look like it was made to be fashionable. But then over time, they started giving in to the idea of making clothing that was both functional and fashionable. For example, this shirt that I'm wearing, it's lightweight, it's quality Patagonia stuff. It looks like I could be wearing this on the side of a mountain, but realistically, I wear it to the grocery store. I wear it around town. It's something that you can wear any place, but it's still functional and it still is a lightweight, high quality, all that sort of stuff. So what they've done over the years is they've made their gear more and more mainstream, more and more fashionable, as evident by this picture of this little girl wearing all this Patagonia gear. It's definitely not made for for her to be climbing Mount Everest, but it is high quality stuff, and it's something that she could wear to school on any average day. The final challenge that we're going to talk about for Patagonia is the complacency challenge. Now, this is something that they are very well aware of, and if you look at many of the different articles about Patagonia, one thing that they'll bring up is complacency. And this has become a bit of an issue for them over the last 5 years or so, and particularly in how their clothing is made. In 2011, they recognized that there were some issues with some of their overseas contractors, and that there's human trafficking, and there was all sorts of bad stuff going on with how their clothing was made, and their factories had some poor conditions and low wages. And Patagonia saw this as them dropping the ball with complacency. They became complacent with how their stuff was made, and they weren't constantly seeking improvement and weren't checking into things. Now, since then, Patagonia has made some great improvements on how their stuff is manufactured. They've increased wages. They sought the fair trade certification in 2014. They've done all sorts of different things to make their labor, their manufacturing, to be more humane and to prevent human trafficking and prevent all the things that they were being blasted for in 2011, 2012. They realized that complacency could cause a disaster for the business. With all those competitors, like we mentioned before, with Merrell and Cool and North Face and all those, had Patagonia become complacent with the way their stuff was manufactured, that scandal could have been very detrimental to the business, and they could have lost some of their market shares with it. So that wraps up our discussion of Patagonia's marketing challenges, and now we're going to look at Patagonia's brand inventory.
Now take a look at our brand inventory, which focuses on brand architecture, brand and marketing programs, and direct and indirect competitors, as well as our market situation. Brand architecture includes our brand hierarchy, brand vision, and portfolio roles. Our brand hierarchy shows us that Patagonia is beneath the holding company of Patagonia Works. Some of the companies within this portfolio take on a corporate branding, sharing both a name and a font, like Patagonia and Patagonia Provisions. Patagonia Media does not share a font or logo, but shares the same corporate brand. Some of them have family brand relationships, like Warnwear, which has Patagonia branding on the products, but it's under a different company name. Then we have some that are individual brand relationships, like Tinch Adventures, Fletcher Cohenard Designs, and our Lost Arrow project, which don't directly connect to the Patagonia name, but are underneath the holding company of Patagonia Work and share the same brand vision. This brand vision has always been for the environment and not for profits. This means that their boundaries as a company also fall under this vision of environmental awareness and preservation. They are limited by their policies that maintain this vision. This places them in a position of top-of-the-line outdoor apparel, set apart from their competitors by their dedication to the environment. This is summarized by their brand mantra, which is reduce, repair, reuse, recycle, reimagine. Their portfolio roles are very diverse, starting with Patagonia Works, which is the holding company, making sure that all operations for the other companies go smoothly. Patagonia Incorporated, which is what our brand audit focuses on, produces apparel. Patagonia Provision produces foods in environmental preserving ways that most companies wouldn't think to use. Lost Arrow Incorporated takes the same R&D as Patagonia Inc. and produces apparel for the military and sells it to the government. Patagonia Media produces books, films, and multimedia projects which promote environmental policies and environmental movements. Fletcher Cohenard Designs produces surfing supplies in an environmentally friendly way. Tinch Adventures provides financing to new startup companies who fall in line with Patagonia's values and company goals. And then Warnwear Inc. sells used Patagonia apparel products and recycles them to give it another life, focusing on the reimagined portion of their brand mantra.